So I thought this was pretty cool because, at the end of the day, Xbox Series X is a very powerful console, and we haven't exactly seen the best of the best from this console yet. Like, it seems like even the first-party games that Microsoft puts out weren't really taking full advantage of the platform, and that is super unfortunate. Now, at the end of the day, it's on Microsoft and Microsoft alone. I get this, but this really has me excited about what Microsoft is doing and how this platform could even be viable in the future and things like that. So, again, this is cool. Why weren't we seeing stuff like this before? Like, people have been asking for this kind of stuff, but I'm not going to turn this into a negative. This is a super positive, and what you're seeing right now is pictures. These are screenshots. So Ninja Theory is talking about Hellblade 2. Obviously, their game is coming out in a couple months. It says photo mode returns in Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Here are some shots we took purely using photo mode in game this week. So these photos are blowing everybody away. Like, these are in-game photos, and they are absolutely stunning. I absolutely cannot believe that these are just there and so amazing. Now, listen, for me, it's like, hey, you can pre-install the game, wishlist it, whatever. Cool, and everybody knows me, right? Like, I was never the biggest fan of the first Hellblade game. Kind of was what it is. It's like I thought it was a good-looking game, but I thought the combat really lacked depth, and I also thought that it was a game that was trying to stretch itself out by having you do like the looking puzzles and stuff. So I wasn't a huge fan of the looking puzzles and whatnot. Not that they were like overtly difficult. It was just like, at the end of the day, I didn't find them to be particularly inspiring, I guess would be the proper word. But, listen, it doesn't mean that I'm off Xbox. I think Xbox has a fantastic platform. Xbox Series X is a great console. And, when you see these screenshots, which they posted 4 of them, this looks exactly like what we've been sort of asking for since the beginning. Like, here it is, 3.5 years into the life cycle before we finally get some kind of idea of what this thing can do. And that's really on Microsoft themselves. I mean, could you imagine? Like, this is the game that they showed off and announced the Xbox Series X with in 2019. And here we are in 2024, and this game is just now getting ready to come out, and it looks great, but wow, we sure could have done with something like this in the past. So, yeah, nice to see that it's getting photo mode. Maybe we're getting past some of this stuff. I mean, listen, there's always different kinds of rumors and things that are going to seem like they're going to haunt Microsoft. So this is a very, very interesting situation where, all of these things sort of happens and happens for a reason. So, Microsoft, good on them for finally coming through. I think, Ninja Theory is a class developer kind of out there on their own, doing their own thing. And when you see stuff like this happening, you see gamers looking excited about the future. That really, to me, is what gaming is all about, right? Like, we're gamers and we're excited about the future of video games, and that's exactly why I think video games are such a fun thing. The video games are such a thing to kind of get people to gravitate into what we like to do. So again, this is exactly why Microsoft is kind of in the spot that they're in. Like, they're not in the best spot. And, one of the reasons why they're not in the best spot is because, they fail to actively convey things that need to be conveyed. And, again, this is one of those things that realistically, honestly, to me anyway, when you see the way that gamers kind of look at these things and you look at how things have kind of come about for Xbox, this is a big win for them. So, I hope that we see more stuff that takes full advantage of it. I would love to see, Indiana Jones and Avowed and things like that. It's like unfortunate, and people go, oh, well, Microsoft should have been doing this all along this generation. I highly agree. I highly agree that they should have been doing that, right? The problem is, and people tend not to understand this or believe this, Microsoft has only released 4, that's right, 4 non-cross-gen console exclusive games this entire generation. So in almost 4 years, they've only released almost 4 games. So that's sort of where we're at. And you might go, well, what are the games? Well, Flight Simulator, Forza Motorsport, Starfield, and Redfall. So, not exactly the best candidates. Starfield, I think, is a fantastic game, but the biggest problem with Starfield is it's like running on ancient technology, old engines and things like that. So it's not exactly a game that is going to blow people away with their looks or whatever. So yeah, this is nice to see. Nice to see that Microsoft is doing the things that they need to kind of get people excited again about the platform. I would say that one thing that they would do that could potentially kill any excitement for their platform is if any of these games end up on PlayStation at this point, when they're like, hey, this is the first 4, don't expect more. Like, if this game ends up on PlayStation, I think you can expect, mass revolts. Like, honestly, and I've mentioned this before, something like 80% of their releases this generation have been multi-platform, and that is not a good precedent. So I am excited by this game. We can finally see that Microsoft is doing something to really impress people, and that's exactly what they need to do. This is something I'm seeing it myself. This is absolutely what Microsoft needed to do. People are talking about Xbox again. Oh man, Xbox, this looks great. Finally. I mean, you will see the occasional snotty comment where people are like, oh, Xbox, I can't wait to play this on my PS5 Pro or whatever. It's like, that stuff is going to happen. You're going to see those types of comments or what have you. But, at the end of the day, Microsoft can't really get into that nonsense. They just this is just what they have to do. They have to go out and make sure that gamers are, excited about their platform going forward. So I know I am. Listen, anything can happen, but anything can happen at any time. So, when you see stuff like this and you see that Xbox is getting some props and, have really good looking games like this, that's a time to get extremely excited, in my opinion. So I want to see them continue to do well, and this looks incredible, absolutely incredible. So if this game wasn't on your radar, I think that it absolutely should be on your radar now, right? Like, who wouldn't want to play this thing? It looks absolutely amazing, and at the end of the day, what more can you ask for, to be quite honest with you? I think you really have to kind of just go, oh wow, this thing does look amazing, and good for them, good on them, for getting something out there that finally pushes the envelope. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. Thank you very much. Peace.